see how they. It's a lot of fun. It's great to see so many people interested in the one-on-one level. So, but because I'm from Michigan, I absolutely, my disclaimer is I am absolutely not an expert on Arizona law and what's going on, but we were tasked, Tim and I were tasked to talk about revitalization. In Michigan, we were very much Main Street people. We had, I don't know, we had like 200 different Main Street organizations in the state of Michigan. So some of what I'm going to talk about comes from the Main Street now, but IDA is a great resource. I know there's a lot more IDA out here out west. So someone mentioned, we're going to talk about bids, and this is, those of you who may know, it's the Roosevelt grow, and this was sort of, was what sort of started the demise of bids, I think, in Arizona and some of the legislation. But I have hope. I think that we all do, that's why we're going to talk about it, is that it can be done. It just raised the bar and made it a lot further problems. Who knows? With changing politics, the state may go back at some point. So we want to be ready. But first, just some of the revitalization strategies with Main Street: economic vitality, design, community transformation, organization, promotion. The Main Street for many, many years had a kind of a 4-point approach. They sort of modified it and rebranded it a little bit, but it's centered around transformation. Strategy articulates a focused deliberate path to revitalizing and strengthening the downtown. Programs work on transformation strategies to organized around those 4 points I mentioned: economic vitality, design, promotion, and organization. Revitalization programs work with transformational strategies informed by a solid understanding of local and regional market data and sustained inclusive community. That is so important. And we touched on it a little bit. Just having your stakeholders. We cannot have too many stakeholders in downtown organization. People from all levels, all businesses, chambers, even if they're not a retailer. There may be a tax account that wants to be part of it. They have an office on Main Street. That's okay. Let's get as many people involved in your vision and your strategy as possible. Economic vitality, which this is economic development, so we're all about economic vitality. Focusing on capital, incentives, and some of the things we've already started to touch on. Financial tools to assist new and existing businesses. Catalyze property development, create a supportive environment for entrepreneurs and innovators to drive local economies. One little bragging point in Festive, we just started what we call the Center for the Future. We actually repurposed a city building that was on our city hall grounds and made it available for entrepreneurs, startups, and things like that. Which is very cool little high-tech companies. So incubator is a great idea, and incubators love to be downtown. The innovators that are doing those businesses, they want to have a great downtown environment too. And design, of course, we talked about historic downtowns, but any design, any town, new or old, community transformation, enhancing the physical and digital assets in commercial districts. So I am a huge fan of Revitalization. I found when I came out here that there's a lot of stuff. And a lot of stuff we're covering. What I know is some amazing old brick, beautiful brick lake. We have a lot of great brick. A lot of it was to be done. Especially we had a very strong revitalization after the 80s and 90s with historic preservation. But I'd like to see more brick and less stuff in our historic. Positions in the downtown commercial district as the center of the community and the hub of economic activity, creating a positive image and showcase the community characteristics. I mean, right now, at this very moment, you can go to downtown Festive, Courthouse Plaza, and see beautiful orange trees that are all within like all spectacular. So surrounded by all these beautiful historic buildings. So that's really the center, and it should be the center of any community. And organization, again, this is about creating a strong foundation, involving as many stakeholders as possible, and just getting them around the table talking, but also listening to what the residents have to say, bringing that in as much as possible as well. Just getting as much input as you can. I won't go into all the details of this. I think this will be made available later, but transformation strategies generate meaningful community engagement, as we talked about. An example of stakeholders, working with residents, agricultural center arts. We have a lot of arts and culture invested. We have the outside college, and we have the performing arts center, we have the culture center. So we want all of these things. We're a little bit of a college town. We've got Yavapai College, we've got Embry-Riddle. I don't think Prescott acts like a college town as much as some do, but we're working on getting more engaged with those students. Entertainment and nightlife, also something we're working on in Prescott, and the knowledge economy, I believe we have it. So, just a few tools if you want to get started somewhere, sort of developing, I guess I would call it. Looking at a downtown cleanup program, downtown ambassador program. We talked about that a lot in Prescott, having folks that are just on the street and say hi to folks, see what's going on. And they're great because they're eyes and ears for law enforcement. Really, they're more about leaders. They're more about seeing what's happening in downtown and helping people out. Get a little committee together. It can be very informal, but it can go to a larger, more organized board. And facade improvement grants are a very cool way to kind of rehab some of those facades that we have gone astray over the years. And favorable zoning efforts. We're working on that right now with some of our requirements for sprinkling center in the national forest. We have very strict requirements for residential inside of our downtown, but we're working on ways to mitigate that so that we can encourage our downtown development. And business improvement districts, which I would say is a little bit encouraged. Video. Turn it over to Tim.
Came out because we came out for the same reason. We were on page. We want to make it look beautiful because it's kind of our duty when we live in the community to work together as a group.
This group called for our city is trying to bring back that community pride and instill it in all of our.
There's going to be more to come, so I encourage you to come out as a family and be able to serve one another. So as we do this, it brings others and encourages others to do it.
Well, I think it takes little steps first. Little steps like that continue to bring volunteer. Take it back home. It sets a standard for kids. I can sign her and do that. And that just kind of show them, the way to go.
And it's not just going to be a one day, it's going to be something you're care about. I challenge you to do this in your neighborhoods, go out and help each other, your neighbors, and how can we help them.
I challenge you to come out and help as part of the community. So I challenge you to come out and be part of for our city.
All right, everybody, I'm Tim with the town of Wickenburg. I shared a little video here on a downtown cleanup that I helped facilitate when I was with the city of Page. So you got a couple of things here on the page here. We prefaced everything that there has to do with downtown development. There are a number of experts here in the room, but one of those things that I think we can humble ourselves out about is, although we have experts and we have expertise at many different areas, we're not experts at everything. Jen is one of the foremost experts, I would like to say, in terms of downtown development. She's part of a larger organization that she's actually helped co-found. She's part of a larger international organization. But again, we're not experts in anything. She shared an example of a wonderful Circle K project. And she got hit with a funny acronym called GIPLIT out of the blue, right? It is very, very, very difficult to be a master of everything, but it is very, very simple, at least in my terms, to be friends with a lot of people and to pull your different resources, because I don't think it's realistic to be the foremost expert in things like that. If you have questions, let's say I have a question in communication, right? How many communications directors do I have in the room here? I see Jennifer Stein right here, so maybe we can pull some expertise, along those ways. And I encourage everybody to pull those resources, to make those phone calls, and to actually get stuff going, because that's where we want to be. We know where we want to go. We know the avenues we can take. We know the philosophy, but where do you start? Where do you go? So let's go ahead and get into the weeds. What we saw was a downtown cleanup program. Anybody here can tell and add to the conversation. Obviously, downtown cleanup programs can add a sense of community, a sense of pride. It doesn't cost a dang thing other than trash bags and things like that. What are the benefits? This is a nod. What are the benefits of the downtown cleanup program add to your downtown? Ownership, absolutely. That's where pride comes in. That's where your business owners take a sense of community, take a sense of ownership. Jen, do you want to add to it? Family, there's community, but I think family, that's a great part. Where, throughout the pandemic, I've seen one business owner with supply chain run low on certain supplies, but because everybody's a family, the neighbors had shared their supplies, so everybody prospers. We don't want to be on that team. Is that a direct result of the downtown cleanup? Absolutely not, but it adds to the conversation. The way that I like to think of things is pretty crazy for those who are fans of a little show called Dexter. You see a crime scene, you see different pictures on the board, you see those little strings attached. That's what I see when it comes to everything that we're talking about today, and everything when it comes to economic development. Any questions on downtown cleanup? Yes, sir.
Not a question, I just want to say it's also visible. And like the underground project, but it's so visible and quick that you can get great response and great results support quickly. And it helps with your council seeing people engaged, one interested in the topic. And it gives them, it helps them feel safe.
Absolutely. Who here has done downtown cleanup? There you go. So keep your hands up, keep your hands up. So everybody, there is your professional, expert professional source there. Give them a call on Sunday at 3 o'clock in the morning. So feel free. We all, you see that everybody is raising their hand. A lot of us did. And that's the conversation we want to have. Another piece of the puzzle, who here loves lawyers? It's not me. Anyone here love lawyers? This doesn't involve lawyers. So this is sponsored, so just bear with me. I get a cut back on you later. If anyone wants to buy a new
You probably see people boxes and we love them. Students want to price. Yeah, they need downtown foods and buses.
They are taking a quick break from the usual day-to-day, helping people to downtown foods, get around, with dining recommendations, helping them park, to kind of spend more time with it.
I was going to say, I didn't know this. I'm going to have to do this in the middle of summer too.
7 days a week, 365 days a year, in the downtown foods, you're going to see the men who want asking on the back. They're there to help you, that's their sole purpose, and they do it this time.
Started last week, because I thought, I love my city. This is so good.
It's a wonderful, and yes, other cities do have programs similar to our program, but many of them are managed by a third party. Ours is managed in-house. I think that's really what sets our program apart, because it offers a level of authenticity that you're not getting in cities. They are not volunteers. That's a common misconception. We're glad you asked, because they're full-time employees. They are full-time employees, full benefited. Many of them have been this for 5 years or more. Most of them live downtown, so they live, breathe, and sleep downtown. And they're the best ambassadors for us.
I have to tell you, I really have to do that because they should get paid for being out there.
I think the folks behind it say they should get more. It varies. They have a first shift, a second shift, and a third shift. They're out of schools from about 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. And most of the time, depending on your list, they're having that song called Party to last night. So if you were at that concert, you would see the ambassadors on a lot of the street corners helping people get in and out of the arena and find restaurants before and after the show.
They're always happy when we do that.
It's some coaching, but actually we hire them specifically for workers who have invest. They need to have knowledge of downtown, but it's a personality driven business. They're hospitality people first and foremost. That has always been, for the most part, always been a really high priority of the organization's program, and it's They go on the streets and nothing makes them happy. Having somebody on their way downtown Phoenix. It's amazing. They don't take the summers off. They don't work next time. They're still on the ball.
Just check the background, maybe kind of fast, because they're there to help you. How difficult is it to be
To be an ambassador, I would say that they're constantly learning, they're constantly learning from each other to how to better speak about it. Downtown is changing people face, and to stay on top of all those things is incredibly difficult. Even more so when you add in that they're trying to explain something to you that time very much. I haven't been that time in a while, so it's an incredibly difficult job. Take away just the heat and I don't know if you know it or not. Sometimes you're on bikes, a lot of times you're on the heat. A lot of hydration, a lot of sunscreen, and sometimes actually you can get some sunglasses and some sunscreen. Tomorrow, for our ambassador, for their services that they provide, I understand.
Starbucks and the conferences.
Well, I'll tell you, the ambassadors are incredibly efficient at finding all the shit.
Okay, ambassadors, thank you so much. Just had DTPHX.com.
That one.
Now, who here has a downtown ambassador program? There you go. Raise your hands a little higher. So some of us, and that's a thing too. One of the most difficult things was taking action and action started. So you could call RJ, you could call one of our colleagues, just this, how did you start? There's different levels of ambassador programs. You can start off with a visitor center, you can start off with a chamber of commerce, you can have volunteers go out. That's what I've seen. It's pretty common. I think things like that too. I think that this is what we have in Phoenix is friend know friend. I think it's an amazing program, and if you want to learn, that is the best practice. And that's what you need to call at 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So, any questions on that? I think it's a very good explanation from the experts themselves. Any comments or questions on it?
Just one comment. You may notice that you're wearing coat. I've never met an ambassador that's not.
Right, actionable, right? So there's many different tools that we can use. Some may be a fit in your community. Not everything is going to be a fit in every community. So you're going to know best. You're going to make the best recommendations, and I say go for it. So here's some little bit of a breakdown on the downtown ambassador program. Warm, welcoming atmosphere for that. It is a great resource. You heard the Palm Park in town that day, and it helps provide direction for visitors, traffic control, and one of the things that I've had the experience in some of our colleagues have had is that two-way communication. We all know that EREs is extremely important because a number of business growth functions with businesses, and these people are out on the street. There's only 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 doing your department that we were talking about, the economic development department. You can come and grow. So you're in as big as your team. If you're not friendly, if you're not smiling, how do ambassadors work with you, work for you as a big family? Definitely good. Any comments on that?
I think I would add to that probably safety.
Absolutely. Right color.
The city of Mesa is pleased to present this opportunity to the Community Development Block Grant Committee funding the downtown.
We're gonna skip. So there is a facade improvement program. That's a common name for it. Who here does a facade improvement program? There you go. And if you want, you just step out here. Susan Boyle. There may be different names. Buckeye has a catalyst program. So if anyone wants to know anything about the deal, Susie, Dave, Kristen, learn a little bit about it. But one of the beautiful things about the facade improvement program is there are plenty to choose from. And because it's a direct incentive, there's a lot of literature that comes behind it. So it's pretty straightforward. here's a little bit more information on what Mesa has done.
More than 468,000 and an incorporated area of approximately 133 square miles. This tremendous growth in modern transportation corridors caused a shift of people patterns away from downtown, and as a result, created an economic hollow for downtown Mesa, which began to decline. The businesses and residents in the downtown square mile were adversely affected by this shift. Economic development of the historic downtown retail core has been hindered by the construction of colonnades on the kind of way to provide the shade of the widened sidewalks in the early 1990s. In recent years, there has been a significant desire to transform this colonnade area.
One of our strategic priorities is focused on creating jobs and creating a diverse and vibrant downtown. Investment in a facade improvement program will boost the appeal of downtown. We believe that it will bring new businesses and new restaurants to the downtown area, which will create new employment opportunities for the residents in downtown, which is really important because the average income, the average household income level covers at nearly 50% of that of the city of Mesa as a whole.
The facade program would create new economic vitality, more traffic, more sales. Businesses would extend their hours, people hire more people, vacant buildings would be more likely to be leased or more appealing to tenants, which would also create jobs and more traffic. And it's a win-win across the board.
I think the facade improvement would help downtown so much just because we need to change the look of some of these buildings. This building is a classic example of one that was painted a hideous color. It had a horrible awning on it that was stripped back to the original brick, put a beautiful new metal awning that looks more architecturally creative, and all, instantly this building looks like $1 million.
There you go. You heard about someone in this room really hates stucco. So here's a way to help out and improve one facade at a time. Since we have you in the building here, we're all privileged. Can you give us one tip on how to begin a catalyst program, a facade improvement program for the group? What is a good first step? So again, you could talk to Camille if you want more information. She's happily volunteering her wonderful expertise. I think you pitched Deanna. Is that your? So Deanna Kupsik, if anyone wants to call her at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll happily take you. So again, common program, there's many examples. Some of them are called different things. It encourages placemaking. Who wants a stucco jungle, or who wants a stucco jungle? Some of us might like that. Again, if you're that sense of community placemaking, that's a very planning term. That's something to discuss in the plans. And it allows the municipality, the city council, to actively contribute in, on paper that we as a city or town or community county are actively doing something for the betterment of you, our community, business owners. Any final thoughts? Sure. Crowdfunding. How can we explore crowdfunding? I remember 6 or 7 years ago, that was a big deal, where you have different avenues, you have different grants, different programs. You don't just make it because money makes the world go round. There's different techniques in crowdfunding. There's different, especially on social media, electronic mediums, and things like that. There are different best practices. It definitely is a rabbit hole in and of itself. Does anybody know a good, I can't name off the top of my head, a good, really truly successful crowdfunding project you have on there?
My client did a crowdfunding developers for them.
And the good thing about that is crowdfunding is very, very public. So just because we may not have it, it's not user prolifically, at least in our neck of the woods, sort of how it's very tech driven.
Program for small projects in our whole county. restaurants. My day might cost. It was something people saw. I happily think about it. See that. Showing something. We had led not to more crowdfunding projects.
We actually did one festival, not technically crowdfunding, but I did public works and funding for the program. Go out, and we went way above our goal. Foundation was about we used to build out there a couple questions. About the,
And that's a pretty good example. If you can get the community behind essentially, let's say, a nonprofit, that is a really, really good recipe for success. When you're talking about crowdfunding.
I was just gonna say, a simple one that our chamber did one time was for a Christmas tree, a community Christmas tree. And it actually turned out to be a cool project because the community members were able to also donate ornaments. And so it provided that place making and that sense of community for downtown as well.
That answer, or at least take you a little bit down the road. It's a big rabbit. Key way to instill pride in people and provide the new things that can make a difference. All right, here to wrap things up, there's a number of tools that we're going to talk about. I think as a result of this, we should be able to have a revenue to go. We know the people to call. We know at least the first step we need to take so we can keep going and we can eventually start running. Again, not everything is for everybody at all at once. Take the thing, make the recommendation. It makes sense to do it. It does make it do. Another opportunity is taking a look at zoning. That's another way that essentially may not cost money. It may just be a revision within a number of times. I'm sure everybody here raising their hand when it starts to resonate. You're talking to some businesses and you're hearing something similar. That's the sign thing. And you keep repeating, oh, there's an issue with the sign. Oh, there's an issue with this in terms of zoning. There's an issue with the parking. Oh, there's this issue. And it triggers something, at least you have a conversation with the community development department, finance department, and say, hey guys, can we so that's something that is extremely strategic and precise tool in my opinion. So we have a few examples. This is definitely not comprehensive. One of the things that we've all heard is encroachment. So specifically through the era of COVID, outdoor dining and things like that was very prolific throughout the state. And some of it is, you dine outside, so how far can you go? What about drinking? So encroachment was a big deal, and to be able to get permission to do that wasn't, it requires some revision and it requires partnership with the county. Everybody familiar with what that is and what that can lead to? Expedited permitting, so we get it done faster. That's another tool can be leveraged as well. Parking is a huge deal. Just this morning, John is going through the same thing with parking. There's different ways to attack it. One of which is to obviously pay parking, or let's say you're tightening on restrictions on-street parking, off-street parking requirements. One thing that the town of Lincoln did recently was certain downtown districts that limited on-street parking. Can be controversial, but it can have outside, but best from actually having conversations with the community, with the people directly affected, because you are just one person who may be an expert, but if you have 300 people behind you in opposition, you're not the expert anymore. It doesn't really matter what you say, so I'd rather have 300 people. Liaison programs, Peoria, specifically, I know that Peoria was recognized for having a liaison program, so when you have a project come in, it's nice to have a single point of contact. Engineers can be difficult. Who here knows engineering tools? Pre versus post, first flush, 200, 2-hour retention, 2-hour retention standards. Anyone know 2% crowns on roadways and things like that? Well, it's not everybody knows everything, and that's why it's very, very important when an engineer is talking to another engineer, probably not talking to the developer themselves, and nobody understands what the heck he's talking about. But you as the expert can jump in and say, well, pre versus post, have you tried first flush in an infill project? Totally makes sense, right? And the reason I bring this up, and the reason I wanted to make this as an example, is because these are favorable zoning patterns. We talked about signs here too, to change things out. Not everybody's an expert in everything. Who here is an AICP certified planner? So in this room, we may not even have the expertise to take this on. Jen, actually, you have not only an AICP certified planner on the team, with Marissa, right? But you also have an economic development certified person on the team as well. So leverage those people. Is it Kingman? Kingman was pretty, Sylvia, pretty savvy in pulling a planner person into the mix because this just completely makes sense. And you don't want to be up the creek without a paddle when people are talking weird numbers and weird terms and stuff like that. You have no idea what to bring. So any final thoughts on this before we close out with the most marvelous tool, in at least my opinion and John's opinion here, favorable zoning? All right, we're gonna end this big, and in my opinion, this next tool here is definitely the mic drop. You've heard a lot about it. There's different ways of doing it, but it is probably the most cumbersome, if not also the most difficult.
All right, so the business improvement district, we've heard it a few times. In Michigan, I was part of a business improvement district. It was an assessment on commercial property by square foot, but it gave me a very nice budget for marketing, programming, downtown cleanup, ambassadors, and all those things. We'd really like to see this happen a little bit more in Arizona, so it's up to all of us to figure out a way through this. But I had to do the research just to understand the tax law, but we talked about the definition already. And it's often funded primarily through special assessment tax or levy, can draw on other public and private funding too. So even though you might have a tax inflow, there could be private or other public money that comes into that as well. This is a video, Tim. Is it going to play out? Can't tell me when.
Services. You can see the many challenges facing them, from online to out-of-town retail parks, shopping centres, managed destinations and attractions. Evidence shows that places with bids are better able to compete than those without. In these places, businesses come together, adapt and deliver exciting projects. There are over 2,000 bids worldwide, and since inception in the UK in 2004, businesses have realised the economic benefits of working together and in so competing effectively. From just 30 bids in 2005 to over 300 today, they have embraced the huge potential this model can provide. Simply put, if you visit a place that is thriving, it probably has a bid. So what are the primary reasons a place wants a bid? 1, they want greater control over what happens in their business environment and to actively shape the future. 2, they want to have a business plan and projects that are properly funded, better delivered, really make a difference to their business and provides a return on their investment. 3, they want to speak with one powerful business voice. So how does your place become a bid? Time is spent finding out what businesses and stakeholders want, and the information is then gathered and analysed to create the bid business plan. The plan shows how there will be investment in areas such as marketing and promotions, events, physical improvements, better security, safety and accessibility. It explains how it will improve your place's profile, change perceptions and support both businesses and their employees. Finally, it will show how to get people coming in, tills ringing and the community buzzing. The business plan will normally be posted to every business in the bid area. You will then be asked to vote. To ensure the bid comes into being, it needs at least 51% to vote yes by number, and those voting yes to represent 51% of the rateable value. To make this happen, it needs your support and your vote, because if you miss the chance to become a bid now, the opportunity will not come around again. Vote yes for a bid. Vote yes for the future.
So you probably know the international accent. It's a worldwide tool, right? I think the bar in Arizona, and I've got a few more slides, but we can look at them later because we're over time. I think the new rule regulations were set in place say that there actually has to be a petition of over 51% of the property owners that would be assessed. They have to actually sign a petition. And then do they still have to vote for it too? Is that, yeah. So it's a very high bar. But the bottom line is it's a self-assessment. The businesses agree that they want these additional services from their town and they're willing to be assessed in some way to pay for them. Right now, City of Prescott, our general fund pays for downtown maintenance and cleanup. Our bed tax pays to maintain our garage. We sort of shuffle the cards around and figure out where we can get the money from. But if we had a single source for downtown improvements like this, which should make all of our lives a lot easier when budget time comes around. So, but yeah, there's a little bit more information. The state law is actually in there, a link to it, and there you go. We're done. Any questions?